And so this one says, slideshow, use monitor. Well, I'm glad I haven't had training on this stuff. Primary monitor. And okay, we talked about correlation and causality. I kind of went through a, kind of a shotgun, presentation. So we're going to go over 4.1 slides just to fill in the gaps and make sure I didn't miss something, okay? Of course, you ain't got to watch this thing. Scatter diagram, you know what a scatter diagram is now? It's got all the dots on it. And your objective is to see if there is a relationship, which means correlation. So they give you something with 50 points on it, of course. And I'm not going to give you anything that big on a test, but you click, you do the Excel spreadsheet. And I did get into StatCrunch yesterday. Have y'all been able to get into StatCrunch? Because it had an error on it the last couple of days. Anybody? Well, I didn't have any trouble yesterday, so I think they fixed whatever the problem was. And there's the scatter plot. So on a test, you should be able to do this. That looks something. I'll do a red so you can see. I don't like red, but yeah, just like that right there. Okay, that's what you should be able to do. Now that looks like a one-to-one function. It's about a 45-degree angle. A 45-degree angle, anything above a 45-degree angle is a strong correlation. Anything below a 45-degree angle would be a weak correlation. But what's the slope of that line? It's positive, so therefore the correlation is positive. So I would say that's probably around a 0.8. Okay, anything above 45 start creeping toward 1. Anything below 45 starts creeping towards 0. And then of course you got 45 down, which would be creeping up towards 0, and then 45 down going toward further, going toward -1. So that's what you should be able to do on a test. And next, and I showed y'all these. Y'all should be able to know, okay, we really don't need to worry about these two, but on a standardized test, you need to say this is nonlinear and this is nonlinear. Nonlinear is a 25-cent word for a curve. Okay, so you might want to write that down for a standardized test. Nonlinear is a 25-cent word for curve. We're going to be studying the linear, which is these three right here. Positive correlation, positive slope. Negative correlation, negative slope. No correlation, no slope. Zero slope. Horizontal line. Okay. Now the calculator, three like these on a test you would be able to do. On a, where they ask you for the correlation coefficient, we're going to rely on technology for that. As I told the other Math 120, I'm not going to make you do that by hand because that's just too cumbersome, too tedious. This is just, and with the technology now, it's kind of like looking up the trig functions in a chart in trig. We don't do it anymore. So I'm not going to worry about that unless y'all really want to do it, and then we'll take a vote and we'll do it if you want to. I really don't want to. So, okay, I'm going to go past this. Let's say a negative correlation, positive correlation. They're getting into the R, getting into the correlation coefficient. We're moving into that. There, now write this down because you might need to know it. R is the summation of each x minus x bar over the standard deviation times each y minus y bar over the standard deviation of y divided by n minus 1. Now, does everybody understand what you're doing here? You got to take all the x's, find the mean and the standard deviation. Then you take all the y's and find the mean and the standard deviation and put it over plug it in. Does everybody see where that comes in? Now, if you want to do that, I was trying to think of an easy way to do it.
There is one, I can't remember.
Well, I'm trying to think of like 5 numbers. We could do 5 numbers right quick. Let me cut this out, or no, I'm not going to cut it out. Let me go to an Excel spreadsheet, and I'm going to show you how to do it, because it's a pain. But all you got to do is read the what? Read the formula, okay? So we're going to take, and I want to show you how aggravating it is. It's just tedious. Okay, so I'm going to change my numbers to 18. We're going to put 2, a 5, an 8, and a 7. That's 4 points. And then 3, 5, 6, and 8. Everybody with me? That's your X and your Y. So let me go up here, and we're going to insert. First of all, I've got to put everything in the middle. That drives me crazy. And then we're going to insert, and this is your X, and this is your Y. And that's going to be bold and underline. Okay, so I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to find my mean for my X, not mean, E-A-N, and I'm going to put X equals, and then mean for my Y equals, and I'm not going to go through the whole calculation, but I'm going to show you how you would do it. So here we go. Summation of these guys divided by what? 4. And then the summation of these guys divided by what? 4. Divided by 4. Now you've got to find the standard deviation for all of those guys. You with me? So now I've got to do, I'm going to pull this down here, Control X, Control V. Okay, it's not going to like that, so let me fix that. Give me a second. Divided by 4. Now, of course, you could do this on your calculator a whole lot easier. You're kidding me. Are you telling me that I did the same numbers and got the same mean? There is no way. Let me check it. There is no way that could happen. Divided by 4.
He's throwing out the parentheses.
Somebody take the mean of those 4 numbers and see what you get. If I've done that, there is no way I've done that.
5.5. Yeah.
You are kidding me. Do you know I could never do that in a million years? Okay, we're going to change this to 8 and 9. There we go. All right, now I've got to find my X minus X bar. So equals this minus this, F4. Y'all remember doing this for your variance and standard deviation, right? Okay, you got to do this for this, and then you got to equals this raised to the what? Second power. Good job. Copy that down, and then get a what? A total, and then that's the numerator for the variance, not the standard deviation. So I'm going to copy all this down. Copy, Control C, Control V, and there's that one. So I'm going to do my, let's see if I can do this. Standard deviation for X equals, and I'm going to go parentheses equals parentheses this number divided by 3, right? 3, close parentheses, raised to the 0.5 power. And there is the standard deviation for X. I think I did that right. And then standard deviation for Y all the things I do for y'all. Equals parentheses, this guy, divided by 3, close parentheses, raised to the 0.5 power. Everybody with me? Okay, now let's go back to the formula. Now, x minus x bar over standard deviation. What is that called? Okay, that's what you got to do. Now, we did x minus x bar, but now we've got x standard deviation. And so now I've done x minus x bar. That should be an over. So now you plug those into that, and then you divide by 3. Okay, which is a pain. Okay, I'm not going to do that. So you see how you actually get, you've got to do all of this over here, and that's just not feasible. Okay, so I'm going to go and I'm going to take, when we come to a problem, I'm going to actually find R either with the calculator or with StatCrunch or with Excel. Does everybody agree with that? I hope you do. And if you don't, then knock yourself out. Okay. -1 to what? +1. We've already talked about this. Okay. 0 is a horizontal line, no relation, no correlation. Make sure you know these. That's 1-to-1 ratio is 1. Scattered, like 0.9. All scattered starts to shallow out, 0.4. And this is just a guessing game when you're just looking at it, okay? This is a negative. This is a negative somewhat. This is a weak, okay? Weak is in weak correlation. This is horizontal, which is 0, and this is going to be a nonlinear. And the only reason I want you to know nonlinear is for your standardized test, whenever you take one. So let's try another one, or another slide. Self-explanatory, that's a positive correlation. You read from left to right. Okay, there you go. Now, if you want to do all that, knock yourself out, but we're not doing that. Okay, so y'all can look at it, and I'll leave it on the screen there for a few minutes. And when you're at home and you don't have anything to do with kids running around or your brother and sister running around, you're working 48 hours a day. If you don't have anything to do, then go ahead and knock yourself out. But I'm not going to make you do all that. And there it is. Okay, now let's move on. We're not going to do no in-class activity. I don't like y'all, so we're not going to do no in-class activity. All right, so linear relation. I'm moving through this because I'm looking for something that, go ahead and write down lurking variable. Write that down, and you need to write it down because some of your homework problems has lurking variable, dang old perv, dang old hanging around. Okay? You want a piece of candy? It's the lurking variable is pretty much something that's not having anything to do with it, okay? Another way that two variables can be related, even though there's no causal relation, is through a lurking variable. A lurking variable is both the explanatory and the response variable. For example, ice cream sales and crime rates have a very high correlation. Ice cream sales, everybody loves what? Sugar, okay? And crime rates, okay, nobody likes to be robbed, and some people, I guess, like to commit crimes, but I don't know if there'd be a high correlation other than you're going out to get ice cream and somebody robs your house because you're not at your house. Okay, that's the only thing I can come up with. Lurking variable is temperature. Yeah, because what do you do in the summertime as far as your house goes? You're on vacation, so crime rates would go up. Now that's a lurking variable. Lurking variable would be temperature of drowning deaths and Rocky Mountain spotted fever. The lurking variable would be what? The temperatures, the summer temperatures. Okay? So that's the lurking variable. Does this mean that local government should shut down all ice cream shops? No. Should you unlock your doors? Yes, you should unlock your doors, because if you lock your doors to your house, you're a racist. Shut up, Hubert. Shut up. Do not go there. Shut up. Some of y'all will catch that, but some of y'all have no idea what I'm talking about. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, then that's sad. But anyway, do y'all know that Six Flags and Walt Disney, what is it called, Disney World, they're racist? Because what do they have around their whole place?
A wall.
A fence, a wall. So they're racist. Daggum movie theaters, they're racist. They won't let you come in unless you what? Hey! How dare them? Anyway, I'll shut up. What is that? Negative correlation. All you got to do is be able to spot it. I feel like I'm going over the same stuff over and over. I'm sorry. Okay? Some lurking variables in the study that could confound, y'all have to look that word up, the results mess up. They can't say mess up the results. They don't sound sophisticated, so you have to say confound. Body mass index, height, smoking, alcohol consumption. You know, whether you're on meth or not, you know, that has a lot to do with it. You ever seen these people that do meth? They look like a model, and then 6 months later, they look like Creep Show. You know, Creep Show, the little guy, the skeleton. I mean, ooh. I guess when you drink Drano, I guess that's what it does to you.
I like seeing their, have you ever seen, like, from when they get arrested, like the before and after pictures?
Yeah.
I like those.
That's what I'm talking about. They're like, you know, one, especially the women, it really takes a toll on y'all. Y'all be looking like a model, and the guys, you end up looking like Beavis and Butthead.
Well, y'all just started to look rough.
Yeah, the guys all the guys end up looking like Beavis and Butthead. I don't know why, but all the girls, they rough. Ooh. Okay, so I don't know why they didn't put meth in there. Yeah, don't want to offend nobody. Okay, now here's an example of what I would give you on the test. Okay, that's where I was talking about. I want you to see the relationship between slope. Write that down, because that is a question I would give you on the test. So I'm going to leave that on there for a minute, because I didn't want to do that with y'all. I might have done it the other day with y'all. I can't remember. But this is the only, besides the technology using the spreadsheet, this is the only thing I'll ask you in 4.1 and 4.2 that's actually math. And that's to find the slope and then plug it into the point slope equation. No coughing in class. Okay? M is equal to y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. They're picking 2 points. Does it matter which points you pick? No. I would pick easy points, but since you have decimals, you really don't have a choice.
Have you ever seen a movie, Lovely Bones?
I think I have. And your movie did not have Sandra Bullock in it. I've seen that movie.
You must have watched
That has Julia Roberts in it. Ugh. I've seen that movie. It's a good movie.
Yeah.
It's a good movie, because at the end you're like, oh my gosh.
I get them two mixed up sometimes, so when I said that.
No, you do not get Sandra Bullock, and no.
Well, anyways.
Because Julia Roberts, no.
Anyways.
But what's this other movie?
Lovely Bones. It's like
I've
old,
seen that movie.
but it's like creepy. It's about this old man killing the little kids and stuff.
I've seen that movie.
It's a really,
Well, it's really creepy.
long,
Well, the man that kills the girls, there's a man that comes in Publix, and he looks just like him, and he gives me the creep.
Please do not tell him that, okay? You could get fired, okay?
We all talk about it because there was like a lane open and he wouldn't go down it. And I was bagging for this other person and he comes down there. I was like, sir, she's up down there. He's like, I'm good. I was like, and then he got like 3 extra bags. I was like, yep.
Okay, you need to keep your mouth shut because you're going to be in the unemployed line if you don't. Keep your mouth shut.
No, I'm going to be in his
You're going to be
basement
collecting
dead.
that. You're going to be collecting them Bernie dollars if you don't watch out. All right, so 5.7 minus 1.9 is over 2 minus 6. Gives you a negative slope. So somebody tell me what the correlation is. Negative correlation. You already know that. And then find and that's pretty much it. Now, all of you should be able to look at that and you should say, oh, I know how to do that, or I remember doing that. If you don't, then you need to send me problems and we do it in class, okay? But everybody should know that. There's a negative correlation. So we're going to go back. Hold on. How do I go back? I want you to take your handy dandy calculators and punch those in. If you got a laptop, if you want to use your StatCrunch or you want to use your Excel, we're going to do this on your calculator because I want to show you, just in case I haven't shown you yet, I think I have, but I want to show you how to put the line in there with it, okay? So I'm going to take, now they may be using these points, but I'm going to look to see what this may be a straight line, I don't know. Somebody plot the points and tell me if it's a straight line or not. Just plot the points. If it's a straight line, then forget it, we're going to move on to another problem. I thought it was a scatter plot. Let me go look up my calculator. Stat, edit, 023566, 023566, and 5.8, 5.7, 5.2, 2.8, and 1.9, and 2.2. And I'm going to go to stat, second, stat plot, y is equal. I'm going to hit enter, on, and go down to graph. No, it's not a straight line. So they're picking 2 points, but I'm going to go in and I'm going to hit stat, calculate, and linear regression. It automatically goes to L1 and L2, so I'm just going to hit calculate. There it is. Negative 0.71. Now they use 2 different points. This line right here is the line of best fit. Write that down. Line of best fit. It's also called the regression line. Okay? What they did is they arbitrarily picked 2 points. Is that close? Yes. Is it the answer? No. Okay, they're trying to show you the relationship between slope and correlation. Now I'm going to go back because the way this is set up, every time you pull something up and shut it down, it erases. So I have to go back and I have to do second, 0, go back and do diagnostic. People say I'm not patient, but I'm still doing this, you know. So I am a patient person. I just know that if I ask for this to be fixed, it might get fixed next semester. So I just know it's worthless. And hit on, and now go to stat, calculate, linear regression. Now you have the R factor, which is the correlation coefficient. And that is, write that down, 0.95. 0.95 is your correlation coefficient, which means there is a strong correlation. Strong correlation of what? Well, write down y is equal to negative 0.71x plus 6.55. Okay, does everybody see what I did there? A, plug it in right there. B, plug it in right there. Y is equal to 0.71x plus 6.55. Everybody with me? Okay, so I'm going to, oh, that's a negative 0.71. So now I'm going to plug that into my handy dandy calculator, 6.55. So I'm going to go to y is equal, and I'm going to type in negative 0.71x plus, was it 6.55? And hit graph. It's a miracle. There's the line of progression. Now I showed that to the other Math 120 class, and they didn't know they could do that with their calculator. Okay?
How do you zoom out? I can't get mine to
Zoom out, you just hit zoom, and you hit out, and then you put the center where you want to see it. So you go up, it's at 0, 0 right now, and then you put it right there maybe, and hit enter. Oh, I zoomed out. Zoom in. Just do this. Just hit zoom 9, and that's what you need. Zoom 9 is zoom statistic. Now that line that we just calculated is the line of best fit, also called the line of regression. Okay, that's why it's got an R factor. All right, the one you did on the slope, that is a guesstimate. You can use a guesstimate by picking the first, like this point right here, and maybe this point right here, closest to the line. Or you could pick this point and maybe this point and get a guesstimate. But the main thing you're getting when you pick 2 points is whether the slope is positive or what. And if you know that the slope is positive or negative, you know what is positive or negative. The correlation. So use your mathematics, use your algebra to guesstimate, and then use your technology to pinpoint that line. Now, what I just showed y'all right now on 4.1 is about what I'll test you on. These 2 things right here. Okay? Whether you can find the slope and the point slope equation, or whether you can find the best fit line and plot it on a calculator. Let's see what else they got on here. My alarm hadn't went off yet, so I'm going to go until the alarm. Shut up. You didn't even come to the first class. I should ought to drop you is what I ought to do. There it is. Then they're telling you basically what I just said. Okay? That you can do it by math, but the math is not going to, unless you really pick 2 good points that are real close to this line. And this is called least squares regression. We don't do this, but I'm going to let you write those formulas down right quick if you want to. Y is equal to B sub 1 plus B sub O. You can write that down. And there is the standard deviation of Y over the standard deviation of X. I'm not going to do this, but that's how you would do it. Now, a lot of people say, well, Hubert, you're not covering some stuff. No, because it's not that important. Because I'm going to tell you right now, if you have to go, let's say that one of y'all goes to Clemson and you get in a 3rd semester research class. Are they going to ask you to find the least squares regression line by hand? Hell to the no. They're going to ask you to find it on the Excel spreadsheet or the calculator. That's what they're going to ask you. Okay? Oh, y'all not finished? All you got to write down is 3. You don't have to write down all this stuff. You can if you want to. This is y equals mx plus b. They just write. Remember what I told you? Statistics people, they want to make things more difficult so they can feel better about themselves. So they take y is equal to mx plus b and they change it to b sub 1x plus b sub o. And they hold their pinky up while they say it. Because it's the same thing you've been learning. y is equal to mx plus b. M is equal to the correlation coefficient, R, multiplied by the standard deviation of the y's over the standard deviation of x. And that's M, that's your slope. And then your y-intercept, B, is equal to the average of y minus the slope times the average of x. Now, of course, your calculator will give you all of this, and you won't have to do all this. So I don't really see the point in this, but you need to write it down so you feel good about yourself, or I don't know. Anyway, next. And there you can plug those numbers in. Let me go back. You can plug those numbers in. This would be too much for me on a test. You might see one like this on homework. If you do, you can click the tab, go to StatCrunch, Excel, or you could type it in your calculator. Okay? And that's what they're going to ask you. Y is equal to mx plus b. And then they might tell you to plug in something. You can do that on your calculator also. Let's go back to your calculator. That last problem. What if I wanted to find, we know that, let's look at our values. Edit. The last value is 6. Does everybody agree with that?
Yes.
What if we wanted to find 7? Then you could hit table, second, table, and you should be able to go to 7. And what's the number for 7? 1.58. Let's say we wanted to find 10. What starts to go into another quadrant at 10? Starts going to the bottom quadrant. So you can use the prediction. You can use the second graph, which is table. See table right above? I don't know if y'all can see that or not. Look on your calculator. The table is where you find your predictions. So make sure you make a note of that, because that's what they're asking right here. See, that's a prediction. I saw that. I heard that. That's all right. Just affect my self-esteem. I'll have to go out and make my truck squat. Next. I'm sorry. Shut up, Hubert. Shut up. Next. There's the alarm. So I'll shut her down. Oh, that's 4.2. How long have we been in 4.2?
5 a.m.
Like
with a current temperature of 40
Okay. Okay.
57 degrees.
All right. So I'm going to take the roll today. So give me a second. Let me pull that up and stop the handy dandy recording.